call to order the June 23rd meeting of the Health and Education Committee. And our first item is approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Here. Health Department. You've got 2 months for us, right?
Yes, that's correct. Good evening. Start with the April report. I'm going to bring it to you guys. It should be on your iPad. So you'll start to see in April and May, which the weather, that we'll start to do more pool camp inspections. That's normal. Those numbers will start to increase throughout the summer. We have to inspect any public pool every month that it's open, or with any complaints. So we do that then. You'll see our dental numbers continue to climb now that we have a full-time dentist on board. Our WIC in both sites is growing, but especially in our Smyrna site, we've added some new positions to help cover that. From the state, we added a nutritionist, RN, LPN, and a medical clerk position to help handle that increase that's occurring there. May I just go ahead and do May, or do them together? And then in May, we did some exciting new things. We do something called a community needs assessment every 2 years. And it's published on the 3rd year, so it's like a 3-year cycle, but we're constantly working on it. And that's just where we meet with, we collect data, we meet with community members, we do surveys, do all kinds of tools to find out what are the needs of our community as far as health, what are the barriers to them getting health and being healthier, and wellness. And we put together a document. This year we're real excited because instead of everybody kind of being in their silo doing their own community needs assessment, we're partnering with St. Thomas Rutherford and Vanderbilt, other stakeholders who have to do the same survey. And I think it'll make it a much better, more powerful tool that we'll have. Last year it was just St. Thomas and the health department that partnered. This year we've added Vanderbilt. So the Community Wellness Council is very involved in that as well. So we held in May our community listening sessions. This is where we actually go out, invite community members in, and ask them, what are barriers to health? What can we do? Those kinds of meetings. And those are always very interesting, informative to hear from people. Then I keep a link open year-round on our wellness site, as well as on the health department page, where they can contact me with any kind of community needs that they might have. So it's a living document that constantly changes, and what comes out of it is 5 top priorities that we target each time we publish the document. And then we work on making sure our services and our programs focus on those 5 things. That's how we can eventually make our community healthier, is by finding out what the needs are and then focusing our work to. So we really have been working on that a lot in May.
Is there consistency in those 5 top items?
We have, ever since I've been the director, they've been very similar, the top 5. The very first one almost always is connection to services, health education. It's kind of a broad topic, but either people don't know the services out there, don't understand how to utilize the service, or what. So that's usually the first topic. We usually have mental health, dental health, obesity, asthma. These are our top 5 concerns pretty consistently. Addiction is always in our top ones as well. Either alcohol, prescriptions, and illegal drugs. So those are kind of where we focused our outreach programs and those efforts.
You mentioned pool inspections earlier.
Yeah.
What constitutes a public pool? Like a subdivision that has a HOA and has a pool
Yes.
that everybody can use? Or
As well, and
anybody doing swimming lessons in their backyard, if they are actually licensed or whatever, would that?
that would be as well. Any hotels, any apartment complexes, the sports those kinds of facilities. Those are all the different, so there's a lot. But, we have a big community here, as you guys know, tons of restaurants and tons of pools, so we do a lot of inspecting. And we have 5 full-time inspectors doing that. They work for the state office. They are housed here, but they report to the state office.
Is there a fee by the pool owners?
Yes, there's a fee to, not for the inspection, but a fee to be permitted.
One-time fee,
Yes, for the summer.
every summer?
Mhm.
An annual fee.
Yes, an annual fee, yeah.
Are there,
Now, your own personal pool, no. It's not
But
the
if
same.
you open it up to
Right.
swim lessons or something like that, you step over that boundary, do you not?
Yes,
In the public
yes,
pool thing.
yeah. Where you'd want it to be checked.
do you find people out of compliance, and do
No.
you have any authority to?
We do. If we find that the chlorine is out of whack or there's algae or different things that are considered critical, we have the authority and we'll close the pool and then go back out for re-inspection once they've had time to address the issue. And if they can meet the standard, then we'll open back up the pool, just the same as we have the authority with restaurants to do that as well.
Now, who checks private pools to make sure there's a fence around it or something like that?
We don't have any statute or regulation in private pools. Maybe, I don't know about
Building
planning and
codes.
zoning,
Codes.
codes, yeah,
Yeah, they have to have a self-closing gate and a fence so tall and a
exactly.
certain distance from the spindle so somebody can't.
Yeah.
And they've got, I built a pool once, I learned.
You know all this, yeah. Well, and one of our outreach projects is, one of my jobs, unfortunately, as the director, is to review death certificates of children under the age of 18 in Rutherford County. And every year we have drownings, every year. And so we see that, so we target health messages and safety messages to pool owners. And one of the things we're working on this year is we've developed just a simple little one-page pool safety tips and working with codes. So when people come to find out about codes or they come to get a permit or whatever, then we give them that. We partnered with them to give, whenever our inspectors go out and doing the pool inspection, we leave a copy with them as well. So just another way to try to outreach to an issue that unfortunately happens every summer.
Good. All right, any more questions, Ms. Garrett? I'll entertain a motion to approve her reports.
Make a motion to approve April and May reports.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good. All right, you want to do the amendment or grant contract?
Amendment. We'll do that first. So I have 2 documents I need to take to to you guys and to the budget committee for approval. And this grant amendment, I think, is just the state trying to clear
Their stuff.
their books at the end of the year to make it match what you guys have as well. They added several positions towards the end of the year to help us, like I said, with Smyrna. And also they added a health educator. And so these are just trying to clean those up. This is no cost to the county. It's just bookkeeping, really, to get this approved for this grant amendment.
Any questions regarding the grant?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Or do we need to?
You may need to
Roll
do
call.
that.
Let's do a roll call.
Commissioner Cook? Yes. Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Nipper?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
Okay, and the next one is the grant, and for the ones of you who've been working with me for a while, this is actually 15-16's grant contract, which is like amazing. So they have some, yeah.
It's not October yet. Yeah.
Exactly. So they have some new people working in the state finance office, and they're trying to be better. The only thing is that they didn't let me put in any kind of projected raises that you guys might approve for staff, including step raises or anything. So I'll be right back again to amend it once you guys pass your budget for the county and you decide if there is going to be anything like that. So, so this is as it is now, but it may change very soon, and I'll be back. And again, no cost to the county. This is just the state's total reimbursement budget that we do every year. And usually it doesn't come till like December. So to have it now before the year is great. Yeah.
Somebody
It's all gone down, so,
Yes, yeah.
and you anticipate that, just,
Part
because
of
you
it,
can come back later too.
exactly. I'll come back later. Part of it is last year's budget was budgeted amount with possible raises or step raises or all that in there, so there was a little bit of over amount in there. This is a much truer number because of the way they want to do it with the state now. The problem is I'll have to come amending quite a bit throughout the year, more than I would have in the past.
Any questions? We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Need to vote on that, roll call on that one? Roll call.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Nipper?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes. Very good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Janet.
Ms. Jolly? Oh, hang on, I skipped community care. Carol, anything from community care you want to share?
We're doing well,
Okay.
and there's a decline in residential coming in.
Census.
But that's statewide. It's not just us. And so you can start watching a decline in the nursing homes. So
Is that a shift in the benefit for more home care, or is that what the
I
result
think
is
so.
that?
Mhm.
Okay. Very good. All right, now Ms. Jolly. Special projects.
On page 3 of the report, I have done a lot of cleanup amendments to the Blackman Middle Annex and the Smyrna Primary Edition. You know, just getting the stuff in the right line it was supposed to be in. And then with that left over at Blackman Middle was $14,877, which we transferred to the Smyrna area middle school. And then in Smyrna Primary, we had $41,269 left over after all the cleanup. And we moved that to the Smyrna area elementary school. And on the page where I do the budget versus source, I don't know if you even pay attention to that or not, but it's been showing that we were overspent, and we've got the money in, so I've got it all. It's showing that it's all clean now.
What page is that?
Page 7.
Any questions from Ms. Jolly? We'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the building program report.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
We actually do need a motion to accept the community care.
Oh, we do, okay.
report.
We'll entertain a motion to accept the community care report.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. All right, Mr. Sandvik.
I have 11 amendments tonight.
Okay.
10 of them general purpose school and 1 capital projects fund.
Then all again tomorrow night, then again Friday night.
Okay, I'm ready.
The first one, insurance and legal fees. It reallocates $263,191 in available funds for the on-the-job injury program, and $127,309 in retirees' medical insurance to cover $285,000 in legal bills related to special education hearings. Increases our liability insurance budget by $100,000 and covers $5,500 in medical insurance for maintenance staff. And after the actuaries looked at claims and all that, we did, on the Board of Ed side, we did not have to make our second on-the-job injury payment. Well, I've commented in budget and here, we have had a stiff increase in legal fees due to special ed hearings. And this is where parents are not satisfied with the IEPs and dispute them. And we I don't want to be too strong. We defend our interests. These are not court cases, but they could go that way.
Okay.
And then we have it's not been a great year for our liability insurance claims, so I put $100,000 of it toward that. Do you want me to read the motions too?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if everybody's okay, we'll just take these together unless anybody sees one that we need to pull out separately, okay?
Sure. Our recommended motion is to amend $390,000 in already budgeted on-job injury program funds and retirees' medical insurance to cover $285,000 in legal bills, an additional $100,000 in liability insurance, and $5,500 in medical insurance for maintenance as presented.
Welcome, Mr. Oak.
Just give me one if you want to take it. Our second one, substitute teachers, it reallocates $108,436 in already budgeted substitute teacher expenditures to the appropriate substitute teacher budget line items as needed. Our recommended motion is to amend $108,436 in already budgeted substitute teacher expenditures to the appropriate substitute teacher budget lines as presented.
Okay.
Our third one, general purpose school revenues. This amendment increases net general purpose school revenue by $841,118 and increases trustees' commission by $60,000. The remaining $781,118 will go to fund balance. Our recommended motion is to amend net general purpose school revenue by $841,118 to increase trustees' commission by $60,000 and to increase uncommitted fund balance by $781,118 as presented.
Okay.
Utilities, and I made reference to this one in our meetings on the budget. This amendment reallocates $500,000 budgeted for bus contracts to electricity. And with this heat, I'm not sure if I put enough in. We did not use as much of the diesel price adjustment funds as budgeted. And the amendment also reallocates $168,000 from natural gas to water and sewer. Recommended motion to amend $500,000 budgeted for bus contracts to electricity and to amend $168,000 from natural gas to water and sewer as presented. Donations. This amendment covers $70,000 in donations and the related expenditures. $43,000 is from the Richard Siegel Foundation and St. Thomas Health for the Coordinated School Health Program. Our Jenna Stinson? No, not Stinson. I'm thinking Melissa's name. Yeah. But anyway, she is very good at getting grants, and we have been using these to put walking tracks in at our schools. And $27,000 was donated for energy conservation expenditures. The recommended motion is to amend $70,000 in donations and the related expenditures as presented. Number 6, technology plan. I've also made reference to this in our budget-related meetings. This amendment cleans up the 2014-15 technology plan budget. $183,211 is being transferred from function 71-100, the regular instruction budget, to function 72-810, central and other. No new funds are included. And each year I put some amount in 71-100 and some amount in 72-810. Depending on the nature of the actual expenditures we have, it tends to be more system-wide stuff and repairs that I charged 72-810. So we have to do an amendment to true up the two. Our recommended motion is to amend $183,211 in already budgeted technology plan expenditures from function 71-100, the regular instruction budget, to function 72-810, central and other as presented. Special education. This is another area where after this amendment, you don't see much of an increase, or if any, in next year's budget. This amendment reallocates $157,406 in already budgeted special education expenditures in order to fund $186,887 in additional contract services and $519 in other materials and supplies as presented.
What are those services?
That is for our high-cost students.
Okay.
We have Genesis Academy, Rutherford Genesis, and Rutherford Academy.
School for the blind.
School
Okay.
for the blind.
You apply to the state when you have
Yeah.
high-cost students,
Yeah.
and sometimes they come through this
Yeah.
additional funding.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
know until they come.
Yeah.
Right.
This year we didn't get it.
Students.
That was one of our revenue reductions in the amendment.
Okay.
Okay. Number 8, non-labor within major functions. This amendment reallocates a total of $589,433 in non-labor expenditures within major functions. It reflects the actual flow of expenditures that we've had this year. Most of the changes are within the maintenance department, $311,350. And since these are non-labor within major function, only school board approval is required, but we bring the amendment forward to y'all. And our recommended motion is to amend a total of $589,433 in non-labor expenditures within major functions as presented. Number 9 is another amendment to clear up some issues in the certified salaries budget. It reallocates $40,518 in certified salaries and the related $4,079 in benefits to various certified salary lines where it looks as though it would be needed. There was a vacation payout that we had, change in staff, some items like that. The recommended motion is to amend a total of $44,597 in already budgeted certified salaries and the related benefits as presented. The 10th one, and I think this is our first substantial classified staff amendment for the year, and it's under 1% of the classified staff budget. It's small for us, but it reallocates $236,670 in classified salary pay and the related $27,527 in benefits to other classified salary lines. Nurses, custodians, and school office staff are the areas being increased in order to get us through June of 2015. The recommended motion there is to amend a total of $264,197 in already budgeted classified salaries and the related benefits as presented.
Very good.
Those are the GBS budgets, and so you'd like one, Becky?
Will entertain a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Got a second? Mr. Nipper? All right, do a roll call.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Nipper?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
Thank you. And our capital projects fund amendment is revenue related. It recognizes a net increase in revenues of $22,625, an additional $1,000 in trustees' commission, and increases the unassigned fund balance for this project, but it's called committed for capital projects, account 34685, by that net $21,625. Our recommended motion is to amend the 2014-15 capital projects budget Fund 177 by a net increase in revenues of $22,625, an additional $1,000 in trustees' commission, and increases committed for capital projects, account 34685, by $21,625 as presented.
Okay, will entertain a motion? Not everybody at once?
So moved.
I didn't want to do all of
Okay.
it. Slow reader.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
Mr. Nipper. Please roll call.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Nipper?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
Thank you very
Anything
much,
else?
ladies and gentlemen.
Don't leave just yet. We're gonna have another budget meeting tomorrow night. We're not discussing the upcoming budget like we'll do on Friday. It's really just our regular budget meeting. But while you're here, and especially with this being Help and Ed and this being the biggest part of the increase. I'd love to know if any of you have any specific questions or ideas that you either want to share or ask of the leadership. Just, I want to make sure all the ideas are out there before Friday morning. I don't want to get there and have us make poorly timed decisions because we didn't have time to, really look at all of our options. So if you have any questions for them, I'd love to hear them now. If you have anything you want to say to this group, I'd love to hear that now as well. So, Commissioners, first I'll ask you if you've got any specific questions that you have to ask.
I don't have specific questions for the school board,
Okay.
but I think I might have specific questions Friday
Okay.
that would affect the entire budget. It's not just related to the school board, so I'm not going to waste
Okay.
their time with questions that might not be applicable to the school board.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's where our biggest increase is. So I just
Sure.
want to make sure that we've asked all the questions. Anything you want to share? Any thoughts?
Just we thank you for your support so far that you've shown us. We've tried to be as open and as transparent as we know how to be with the line items in the budget, and so they're needed items. So I look forward to Friday. I think we have a sound budget.
Very good.
There's one thing, and I've asked this question before, but I ask it on TV. I've had several people ask me if the computers, why we couldn't take the computers we had, ran XP, and update them to Windows 7. But
Part of it
and
was,
several people say, oh, why don't you just upgrade the ones you get? But that, tell me if that was feasible.
what we did do a study of that, and in a few cases you've been able to do a little, but very often it's the processor. And Mr. Nippert can probably tell you more than that, because when they moved to Windows 7, the processor itself, how it handles the more capabilities it had to do, the manipulatives, the video, the new assessments and that sort of thing. Their test may include a short video they have to look at and then answer a question about. They're going to have to be able to do more drawing on it, more manipulation, moving figures and things around it. And so it very often was a processor that in some instances you could make the change, but the processor to accommodate that was so slow that your manufacturers don't recommend it. We looked at that.
Memory was a big issue too.
Memory is fairly cheap, and we buy memory.
Right.
And anytime, if it's just memory, that's not an issue. You can put memory in them now, but it was the processor.
A lot of them you can't put memory in anymore.
Well, true. Some of the laptops and things like that especially, and it'll just recognize so much memory.
True.
Remember, on the new assessments, the assessment for each student downloads to that computer that student is working on, and two children sitting next together may have different tests, different versions, and so they answer on that one, and then it saves it, uploads into the server, and it's picked up at night to go back to the testing company. So.
Well, people out there always say, well, just live within your means. It's easy to sit there and just throw out jabs, and so why don't you just think about just upgrading the computer you have? We've got a lot of really smart people over the school board, and, and if it was that simple, it would have been done, and stuff. So, I think sometimes people don't take for granted there are smart people that work for the county too.
Well, and on that, my amendment between regular instruction and technology, a lot of the things that I charge of the network-related items to that central and other are, I will get an order for 100 this or that, or 200 this or that, to be used to upgrade PCs that are where it's viable to upgrade them. Our staff look at that, and we do that whenever it is possible. And I'm usually working on a laptop that has been upgraded at least one system. We try to do that.
The video cards and things, and all becomes a part of it. It's kind of like repairing your car. If it gets a certain age or time, is that investment a wise investment for that time? And that's where you find yourself. We do.
I want to make a statement to Mr. Turner as the budget chairman. Feel free to come tomorrow night to budget and put out anything you've got to say and other business. or if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I would urge you to call Lisa Nolan, let her know what you're gonna
Yeah.
say, so she can have her homework.
Yeah, no,
You know,
that's a great
because-
point.
because we
It's
don't-
nothing controversial per
Yeah,
se, just
but they
questions
may-
I've got.
Most everything will need some homework.
Yeah,
You know, as far
sure.
as numbers and things. And I'm really hoping that Friday morning, people aren't up there saying, well, let's cut this by X%.
Right.
We need, or she needs, or the staff needs time to tell
Sure.
us what that'll look like.
Right.
You know, so either tomorrow night or call her directly
Right.
or whatever, but I would urge you to
Sure.
give that to somebody and let them do the homework on it.
Chairman Blair, Mr. Jordan, do either one of you have anything you want to share?
Just happy to be here and would urge you to continue to support our budget, which dramatically affects our children.
I'm just delighted to be in this room with a committee that runs so much smoother than it has the last 5 years. I think it's leadership.
Do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Well, if anybody knows the line item effect of our votes, it's the 7 people at this table. As much as possible, vote your conscience, but I would really encourage you to support the budget on Friday, because if anybody knows the need, it's the 7 people at this table. So, all right, any other business? All right, we stand adjourned.